sector organized by Bilaspur chapter in collaboration with MSME and Startup Promotion Board of the ICAI. I request the IT department to kindly play the institute anthem.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.
I request CMA Alokesh Datta sir, Chairman of the Bilaspur chapter of Cost Accountants, to give his welcome address.
Before giving welcome address, our chief guest is waiting for joining link. Mr. Chitora, please send the joining link in WhatsApp mail. He wants the joining link in his mail, but his mail ID is not with me. He cannot. He is not able to joining.
Sir, if I can interrupt, Renu, can you take care?
I can WhatsApp him because I will have to move out of that.
WhatsApp. Send him by
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
I will WhatsApp to Bhatter sir.
No, I have already WhatsApp, but he cannot be able to join from mobile. He wants that his mail ID.
Sir, I am forwarding.
Okay,
sir.
Okay, thank you. Myself, CMA Alokesh Datta, Chairman of the Bilaspur chapter of Cost Accountant. Bilaspur is a very small city, and from that, conducting a webinar series is very difficult. But with the help of our institute, mainly CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, the chairman of the MSME and Startup Promotion Board, we can be able to conduct such a big program. Welcome, Bhatter Sahab. At least you have come jointly timely. Now I start my welcome address stating my guru, CMA PB Bhattar, our past chairman, our past president, and my ex-boss. And till now, I regard him because what I am right now, because of him. At the time of his tenure in SECL, Southeastern Coalitions Limited, he has given me opportunity to work in the field of cost audit when Coal India cost audit has been introduced for Coal India. So he is my guru, and I start my speech by regarding him as a guru. Next, I welcome our Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, Chittoda. I call him Chittoda because though he is junior by age, he is junior to me, but I call Chittoda, our beloved Chittoda. He is the chairman of MSME and Startup Promotion Board of Institute of Cost Accountant of India. I welcome our two speakers, Lakshman Rao ji and our Panduranga ji, and our also learned senior member, Dr. CMA Dr. C.O.D. Chaba sir. I also welcome the dignitaries and the participants who are viewing the program through YouTube. I also welcome the persons behind the curtain, that is IT department of Kolkata office, and the main architect of this program, Dr. Gomes, who is the secretary of the MSME and Startup Promotion Board. With this, today we have 3 sessions, and the 3 learned speakers are also always give you the enrichment, and I hope you will enjoy all the 3 sessions. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, sir, Chairman, MSME and Startup Promotion Board of ICAI, to give his address.
Thank you, madam. It's a very good afternoon to all of you, those who are participating in this program continuously from this 25th March 2023. Today we have got the auspicious presence of our past president, and who happens to be always mentoring us, CMA PV Bhattar sir, and of course the person who has been the reason for having this sort of program from the chapter and having coordination with the MSME and Startup Promotion Board of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Sri CMA Alokesh Datta, very energetic personality, and of course the other chapter managing committee members who are working for this particular program day and night, and today's speakers, especially one ever young personality in mind, and always giving us I must say that wisdom to work for the cause of the profession in various sectors, whether it is agriculture, whether it is MSME. So that is Dr. CMA C.O.D. Chaba, and of course Madam Jyotsna Rajpal, who is also here as a board member of the MSME and Startup Promotion Board, who has taken huge pain for seeing this program to be implemented. And the speakers, Mr. Lakshman Rao, then Sridhar ji, and of course other speaker, Mr. Picha Thanan K. Actually, all these speakers, those who have come, I welcome on behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, MSME Startup Promotion Board, for sparing their time in the series of this, this particular series of this MSME program. I must say it's a brainchild of BILASPUR chapter, and we understood that from the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, we should be partnering with them to handhold with them, because generally a chapter, when they think of the MSME sectors and startups, I think this is really I must congratulate. Not only that, I must say that this is one of out of box thinking, that 4 days it will be continuing role of cost accountants on growth and sustainability of MSME sector. Already 2 days session we have attended, and we have seen excellent takeaways, excellent learning, excellent unlearning, excellent relearning was there. And today, friends, there is a very important session in the lean manufacturing, which would be very much competitiveness for the MSMEs. And as you know, the scheme is intended for enhancing the manufacturing competitiveness of MSMEs through the application of various lean manufacturing techniques. And then many nature of assistance are there. Financial assistance for implementation of lean manufacturing techniques, primarily the cost of lean manufacturing consultant. These are all there in this system, and I think this will be aptly dealt by our learned speaker. I am not going into that detail. Who will be able to apply, how to apply. Friends, lean manufacturing as way it is important. Then again, another excellent topics have been chosen today. Marketing assistance scheme or marketing scheme, which has been marketing promotions. How this is one of the very important, this MSME sectors, MSMEs, although they are emerged as a highly vibrant and dynamic sector of the Indian economy, the last decades, 5 decades, I say, and they're playing a crucial role in providing large employment opportunities at comparatively lower capital cost than large industries, but also helping industrializations of rural backward areas. Thereby, they are reducing regional imbalances, assuring more equitable distribution of national income and wealth. And these MSMEs are complementary to large industries as ancillary units and contribute enormously to the socio-economic development of the country. Here, they are putting tremendous, the country's growth depends upon this MSME's role. Here, we, as a professional, we have to have fair knowledge on the what sort of how we can help them and what sort of assistance we can provide them, not only in terms of lean manufacturing, because as a CMA we have got that skill set which will definitely help them to understand how this lean manufacturing, which is scheme is there, how that will be implemented, and how the MSME sector can take it for their own benefits, and how they can ultimately grow in numbers and in size also. And this marketing a strategic tool for business development. These are all critical for growth and survival of MSME enterprises. And the MSME sector does not have the resources at their command, and thus needs institutional support for providing the inputs in the area of marketing. This is very important. Handholding of is very much required. Vendor, program, vendor may meet the vendors. Vendor meet program are being organized, and especially Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises through National Small Industries Corporations, public sector enterprise of the ministry, as you know, they are providing marketing support to MSME under marketing assistance schemes. Even MSME D, they are also having scheme vendor meet program, and this Micro, Small, Medium Sector Enterprise Development Act also provides many opportunities than how the MSME should be going. But here, as a professional, we must have proper knowledge on this so that we can really guide the MSME entrepreneurs. Friends, another issues have been beautifully, it has been coined here, and this blockchain technology. The blockchain technology, how this factoring and this blockchain technology will be very much applicable in the factoring services. As you know, this factoring service is another, it's a rapidly evolving industry. This is I think that this factoring, when it has been considered in the MSME sectors could not take benefit of factoring to that way. But as of today, under the advent of this blockchain technology, it will be very easier for the MSMEs. And in fact, many small and medium-sized enterprises struggle when it comes to securing finance, and especially the source part is obtaining funds to finance their operations. You can say that the reason for this sort of struggling is that buyers often request around 1 to 3 months to pay for products or services once delivered. And during this time, vendors raise and send an invoice, which is noted as an account payable on the buyer side. On the vendor side, the transaction is recorded as an account receivable. And until payment is made, it remains as a non-liquid asset. And to address this problem, vendors can use this factoring, which enables these MSMEs to swap their accounts receivables for cash at a discount. Usually the cost of service includes a combination of charges and interest. So many nitty-gritties were there. In fact, when the factoring came into existence, being a banker, I know many questions were raised. And since we were involved with in financing MSMEs, these factoring services, how the factoring can be beneficial, and bank can also take advantage of that. So here, many issues are there, and there are without recourse, with recourse, many issues are there. I am sure that today's presentations by the learned speakers will definitely help us, because in this era of blockchain, which is a decentralized method of record keeping, and that has evolved in response to numerous modern problems in computer science, and the digital solution is definitely very much, it would be beneficial in so far as the factoring is concerned. And definitely we must say that many of us must learn today, because many things are already under the we do not know. Because if we have to give a the retainership service to the MSME sectors, because MSME sectors, they are depending upon us to give them to provide them with the whole retainership services, either in GST or in taxations or in this sort of factoring services, whatever, fundraising, and what are the alternative source of finance. So everything, in fact, everything is being discussed in this seminar. In this, I should say this, it's a chain. What we have, the Bilaspur chapter has already, they have framed this. So I just want to mention before here that all these discussions, if you see, institute during the COVID period, already in this COVID period has given a tremendous lesson in respect of the MSME sectors, because MSMEs were the hard hit, supply chain was highly was disrupted, and especially the business continuity plan was it's a very much important for them. During that period of time, our institute came and they in this rise to this occasion, and on this occasion we published a book handbook. The name of the book is Aid Memory on Lending to Micro, Small, Medium Sector Enterprises, including restructuring of MSME credit. This book is having 360 views on the MSMEs, and anybody, if he just go through this book, he will see. Once you will go through the book, you will find that every aspect of the MSMEs has been discussed, and MSME entrepreneurs will also get the benefit. In fact, many demands have come to us to translate this book in the regional language. We have also requested many of our regions, many of our chapters, that if they can come out with the this translation in the regional language, so that it can be utilized by the MSME sectors, those who are basically having they are having the comfort in regional language. And you'll be happy that the last MSME Startup Promotion Board, we have taken a decision to revise this book, because many MSME Development Act and in the Ministry of MSME, many changes have occurred, many schemes have come, which has already been discussed by Mr. Dotto in his first presentations in the first day. So therefore, we think that this book requires to be revisited, and we are revisiting. But I am really thankful to Bilaspur chapter again, and I am thankful to all our very learned speakers, those who have given their time to update the members on this matter. And I'm sure that after this program is over, we may have more thirst with us. We have, and to quench the thirst, we have to organize this sort of program in future again in many other topics. And with this, I am thankful to Bilaspur chapter for having this program with us, and I wish that all the attendees, all the participants, they will definitely come out with their questions in the chat box, so that ultimately they can have their doubts to be cleared by the respected faculties. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Chief Guest of the today's workshop, CMA PV Bhattad sir, past President of the Institute, to kindly deliver his keynote address.
Good evening. Chittoda, Chairman Banking and Insurance Committee and Chairman of the Task Force of the MSME and Startups, and maybe other places he is Chairman that I am not knowing now, and hard worker for the profession and taking lead for all the activities, particularly in banking and MSME sector and agriculture sector also. Chairman of the chapter, Sri Datta and his managing committee teams. Today's speaker, Mr. Lakshmanan, Mr. Pandurangaya, Mr. Nayak, my colleagues, Dr. Chava, Renu Madam, Ratpal Madam, and all members and colleagues. MSME has a great role in Indian economy. Without MSME, no employment can be generated, and no GDP can be increased. First, our employment sector is the agriculture, has a much more contribution towards GDP and employment. And in the COVID period, India was survived due to agriculture. Second sector is the MSME sector. One more service sector is there, which is also contributing much more nowadays in GDP and employment. And MSME sector is also very much now capturing the and demand due to the big corporates, multinationals are doing the marketing, but actually manufacturing is being done by the small sectors. If you go for the Maruti never make all parts. They make mostly 5% parts. 95% they are taking from their ancillary units. There. Similarly, if you go for Patanjali are doing only Divyawala product. Rest they are taking from the outside the small businessmen. Same thing is being done by ITC or Reliance. Now that Big Basket, all are doing the same thing. Tata Consumer Product, everybody are doing in the same manner. Only small manufacturers are supporting them. If Tata want to sell the atta and dal, they are hiring the mill owners nearby the every region, and they give them they purchase from them. Only quality control is from their end. So MSME has a great role in the Indian economy, and there is a few problems. I will also request Chittoda to get the point raised with the government from our institute side. There is a good government policies, no doubt. Government assistance are there, government subsidies are there. Government are giving the loans to and asking the bank to provide the loans. This is one side for providing financial assistance. Other side, there is a regulations made by the government for making the payment within 45 days for purchase preference policies. Even though your rates are more than the 15, if your rates are within 15% more than the L1 rate, they will ask you to the match with their rate, and you will get 20% quantity to be supplied. So there is these regulations are there. Third part, they need cost control and support. For cost control, our cost accountant are quite studied and appropriate person to advise to the small scale industry. There is a one hitch is there, because no small industry can use the full pay services of the cost accountant. So when I was vice president, that time we have taken up the matter with the bankers regarding we have taken the matter with three bankers: State Bank of India, I think Punjab National Bank, and Allahabad Bank. But we have not got the support from the regional level to form a cluster of 10 to 15 MSME to whom one cost accountant will cater the services. So each will have a 5,000 to 10,000 per month expenditure, so that they will get a services from cost accountant, including his cash flow management, EMI payment, loan repayment, marketing strategy, everything he will plan and support to the MSME. That was agreed by the chairman, but regional level and divisional manager and regional manager has not cooperated. They have given State Bank of India side, they have given Ahmedabad. For one bank they have given the Hyderabad, and one bank they have given, I think, Bangalore or Chennai. So they have given three banks, given 3 regions, but they no support from the small level, local level, which are that feels out. So government policies are there, that is for betterment, but banks are reluctant to provide the loans because they are hit by this now NPA. So they by एक मछली के कारण पूरा तालाब गंदा होता है, ऐसा किस्सा है. तो एक दो आदमी ने यदि डिफॉल्ट किया तो उसके लिए पूरा इंडस्ट्री को ही बदनाम अपना बदनामी होता है. और बैंक आल्सो they want collateral security, they want that he should have done business for past 3 years, what is his performance. If past 3 years he can done a business, then why he need the loan then he can continue further, because then his reputation also there in the market. The real support required MSME when they are at startup stage. At startup stage, if you provide 10 lakh loan, then it will be for a cottage industry, not for a MSME, small sector. Small sector needs 50 lakhs, 1 crore. Government have a scheme of loan without any guarantee up to 2 crore. But I am not finding any example that they have given such a loan to any small scale industry without any guarantee. So I request the institute to take up this matter with government so that banks can be tightened, certain quotas to be fixed to the banks for providing. जैसा एग्रीकल्चर लोन के लिए कोटा गवर्नमेंट ने फिक्स किया है और एग्रीकल्चर के पास जा जाके बैंक वाले लोन देते हैं, ऐसे ही एमएसएमई के पास भी जा जाके लोन देवे ताकि आपका इकोनॉमिक डेवलप हो. आज एग्रीकल्चर में इकोनॉमी डेवलप हो रहा है और ड्यू टू उसमें बैंक भी सपोर्ट कर रही है, मार्केट भी उनको मिल रहा है. यहाँ पर भी मार्केट देने के लिए एनएसआईसी के पास स्कीम है, मगर वो अभी फ्रूटफुल नजर नहीं आ रहा है. मिस्टर नायक में हैव ए गिवन एंड थ्रो लाइट ऑन इट. So this point also to be need to be deliberated in detail regarding marketing and providing marketing support from government side to MSME. Third, for cost competitiveness and guidance in arranging their cash flow and managing the cost and increasing their competitiveness, utilization of their capacity, cost accountant services can be provided. Institute should develop one platform so that they can register a cost accountant and they can provide the list to the bankers. Yes, sir, हमारे पास इतने cost accountant है, they can provide services to the small scale industry in your this region, like Bilaspur region, like Nagpur region, like Calcutta region, or मतलब they can go by so that they can cover a 5 to 6 districts in one group, another 5 to 6 districts another group, so that institute can plan and give a list to the MSME ministry also, RBI also, and all bankers also, so that their services can be utilized and bank will not have a fear about their NPA. And our cost accountant also can contribute to the economy of the industry. Nagpur and Bilaspur are both chapters are my backbone. Whenever they invite me, I have my duty. I take it as my duty to attend their program, because without their support, I would not have reached this position. I have got the support, entire support from the Western region, but these two backbones are my, one is right hand, other is left hand. Nagpur is right and Bilaspur is my left hand. Without that, I cannot move ahead. So whenever they ask me, I am always with them, and I will be remain with them permanently till I am there. So I thank the Bilaspur chapter to giving me the opportunity, and I wish the success of the program of 4 days, 25, 26, 27, 28. This is third day. I wish the success of the program of all the four days. Thank you. Over to Madam Renu.
Thank you, sir. Now we are moving towards our first technical session to be presented by CMA Lakshman Rao sir. CMA Lakshman Rao sir is a practicing cost accountant from Vizag. Today's his topic is Lean Manufacturing, a boon to MSME. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Respected past president of the Institute, CMA P.V. Bhattarji, chairman of MSME and Startup Promotion Board, CMA Chittaranjan Chittopadhyay, Chairman of Bilaspur Chapter and Organizer, CMA Alokesh Dattaji, Council members of the Institute and the Bilaspur Chapter, and other participants, my co-speakers, CMA members, MSME representatives, a very good evening to all. It's my proud privilege today to be before you, this galaxy of members of CMA profession and MSME representatives, to deliberate on the topic lean manufacturing, a boon to MSME. MSMEs are backbone to the national economy. The prosperity of MSMEs will lead to increase the GDP of the country and also generate employment in large number. Where such an important sector is to be flourished, it is necessary to adopt latest manufacturing techniques and move towards technological implementation. Lean is a boon, be it a human or it's a manufacturing process. Today we will discuss about the lean manufacturing and how it helps the MSME in achieving their goals. I'm just sharing. Is my slide visible, madam? Can someone confirm my slide is visible?
Yes, visible, sir, visible.
Renu, madam? Yeah. So today's topic is lean manufacturing, a boon to MSMEs. And before going to discuss our topic, I take the recent tweet of Twitter handle of our Prime Minister and also the recent delivery of address by the Minister, wherein it said, lean has the potential to become a national movement and that it aims to provide a roadmap to the global competitiveness for the MSMEs of India. He also added that lean will not only attempt to improve quality, productivity, and performance, but also the capability to change the mindset of the manufacturers and transform them into a world-class manufacturer. So it is very clear that the government is giving more emphasis on lean manufacturing techniques implementation to MSMEs to make them world-class manufacturers and transform them into a world-class manufacturers. So under this scheme, MSMEs will implement lean manufacturing tools like there are many lean tools which we are going to discuss some of them like 5S, Kaizen, Kanban, Visual Workplace, Poka Yoga, etc. And also we will discuss some of the case studies, how lean manufacturing has helped the MSMEs and in case some certain cases in different industries, how the lean methodology has helped them to improve their productivity, thereby increase profitability, thereby it continuously the sustainability of the business is ensured. So objectives of this MSME competitive lean scheme is it is revised and it has been launched on 10th March 2023, very recent. And the objectives are very clear. Reduction in reduction rates, reduction in product and material movements, unnecessary moving of material from this end to that end, and reduction in production cost. At the same time, optimization of space, optimization of resources utilization like water, energy, etc., and enhancement of the quality, workplace safety, social and environmental accountability, profitability, etc., etc. Under this scheme, the financial support, incentives and benefits and other provisions will be valid till 31st March 2026. So we have clear 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, 3 years. So I am not going to discuss much on the scheme and how the scheme works and all, because the document is available on the website and there are lean consultants at the time of implementation of the scheme. They will dwell on that and they will take it forward. But my point here is to emphasis on what are the various lean manufacturing techniques and how those techniques will help, rather how these techniques helped at various levels in various companies, and how they implemented lean and how they achieved the desired results. So these are some of the lean tools and techniques like 5S, Kaizen. Kaizen means the Japanese word. Kaizen means continuous improvement. SOP is the standard operating procedure. JIT is the just in time. So like that, various lean tools and techniques are there. So we'll be going to discuss few of them, and I will take it to you through my session. So what is lean? Lean is becoming from single pack to six pack. So nowadays people, very much fascinated about maintaining their six pack body. So why? Because they want to look smart, they want to maintain good health, and they want to maintain the sustainability, means the long life. That is the reason why lean is important for a human being, for the people, which means it is for the long term perspective. At the same time, lean is also important in manufacturing activities, of course, in the service activities also. So lean is always good. Lean is always a boon, be it a human being or be it a manufacturing sector or a service sector, or for that matter, any business. So lean manufacturing is like from the customer order, when the customer places an order till the product is shipped to him, what is the time that is taken to deliver that customer order? If we can minimize that time, that is a kind of lean, which means we are achieving a lean kind of supply chain or value chain, we can say, which we are going to discuss. So in lean manufacturing, what it's called is lean methodology focuses on minimizing the waste. Here the emphasis, the entire focus in lean manufacturing is eliminating waste, like how in human body, eliminating unnecessary fat to become six pack or lean. So similarly in lean manufacturing, eliminating waste is the entire lean technology, lean methodology focuses on eliminating waste, thereby making the process lean. Be it a manufacturing process, be it a service process, whatever process it is, in fact, any business process which contains the waste, which we can eliminate and make the process lean. So what happens in lean? It has got two, valuable effort and valueless effort and obvious waste. So what is valuable effort? It costs time, it costs money, and it adds value. It is the effort is valuable. So when we are doing some activity, it has to add value. Whereas in case of waste, what happens? It costs time, it costs money, but at the end of the day, it doesn't add any value. So, in other words, we can say waste is anything that a customer can believe. Means customer believes that it is a waste when that it does not add value to the product or service and are not willing to pay for it. The customer is not willing to pay for such kind of, which the customer is not willing to pay, is a kind of waste, we can say. So in any manufacturing process, material plus conversion cost is equal to output plus waste plus emission. So if we can reduce this waste so that the process can become lean, that we can save time and resources, thereby it increases the profitability, thereby it makes the uh, company sustainable and it can compete and withstand in the market. So where do we find waste in any process? So it is not here and there. Everywhere you can find waste, but only thing we have to see with our closed eyes, that not with closed eyes, with closed eyes we have to see that where the waste and what kind of waste it is. So let me give a small example of this hotel, which in our city, in the city of Visakhapatnam, how what they did and how they made this process lean. You see here earlier in this hotel, they used to serve all the chutneys and other things for individual customer in a small bowls. So in the process, what happens? They are engaging more bowls. Suppose more chutneys, two people went there or four people went there. So as a family, so for each person, 4 cups means 4 people, 16 small cups. And what happens in the process? Every person eats half and leaves half because it is already touched. The remaining will be thrown away and it becomes waste. And what this hotel did was they have deployed larger vessels. Suppose if a family of 4 is going, so the common, big vessels are put it here, so that whatever is required by them, the guests will take, and the balance will be there. Of course, it is not touched. At the same time, it is they can save time in cleaning 16 vessels and clearing the 16 vessels. Thereby, they need less people to do that job and less vessels to do that to serve that food. So this is the kind of lean. Lean is there everywhere. It is there even in every walk of life, in our everyday walk of life. So let us see here what it is. It is a truck containing huge load of steel. So if you see how much time to unload this entire load, how much time it may take. It may take a lot of time. But you see a small tip of implementing lean, how it helped the how it is unloaded. You can see, maybe I don't know whether you are able to hear the sound, but you can see how the unloading has taken place. Are you able to see the video?
Sir, it is seen.
Okay. So you can see it is a 1 minute video. You can how the unloading has taken place with a little time. See how this is unloaded. So this is the way a small idea of lean thinking will make larger things to perform in a lesser time. Here you see there is no manual intervention, no people have been involved, no cranes, nothing, no external machinery or nothing has been deployed, but the entire load has been unloaded from the heavy truck within no time. So this is the true lean thinking in this lean trucking. So once this kind of activities have been if they are implemented, obviously it saves a lot of time and money and energy, and thereby it reduces the cost, thereby it enhances the value of the product, and the product it gives the empowerment to the people, those who consume the product. So, so where we can find this kind of waste? This kind of waste you can find out in the entire value chain Value chain means it is both primary activities and support activities. The primary activities are like the inbound logistics, like now we have seen the video that inbound material has come and that material how it has been unloaded from the truck. So all the inbound logistics like receiving material and unloading the material and issuing the material and the operations, the manufacturing operations, and the outbound logistics like shipping the material product to the customers, then marketing and sales, and after sales service. Those are the primary activities, and the support activities are like our accounts department, the IT department, the procurement department, the HR department, and the other infrastructure activities like repairs and maintenance. All those are support activities. So if you clearly observe the primary and support activities, everywhere there is a chance to identify waste, eliminate waste. Only that our thinking and the mindset of the people, those who are engaged in that job, has to be applied to that. So I can say value chain to supply chain. Everywhere there is a pain. Pain means it is a pain means here it is waste resources everywhere. So at different stages, be it a raw material stage, be it a manufacturing stage, be it assembly stage, be it distribution stage, or in the market stage, locations you take region, whatever region it is, whichever country it is, various modes of channels like be it rail transport or road transport or maritime, whatever it is, loading units like bulk shipping or unit shipping, and the cost, be it in procurement cost, be it manufacturing cost, be it distribution cost, and be it after sales. So everywhere there is a possibility of having waste, and one has to be in a position to identify that waste and to eliminate that waste so that the process can become lean. So there are various tools to become lean. Not as a, I'm not a doctor to suggest physical lean, but the lean in terms of manufacturing process, like how we use various gymming equipments to become our body lean. Similarly, there are various tools for becoming lean process, to run the lean process. They are broadly eliminating 7 deadly waste, the 5S, the just-in-time, the fishbone analysis, the value stream mapping, POCA-OK or mistake proofing, and SME, single-minute exchange of die. So these are the various tools with which the processes can be made lean, and the benefits can be derived. So first, let us discuss about what are the 7 deadly wastes in a lean. Their overproduction, excessive transportation, excessive inventory, excessive defects, over processing, excessive movement or motion, and waiting. Overproduction is producing more than what is required. That is excessive material consumption. It leads to excessive material consumption. It leads to excessive inventory. It leads to excessive floor space. It leads to unbalanced material flow. You bought a material for certain quantity of final product, but you have already consumed with lesser quantity of final product. It may cause obsolescence. Excessive production, if it is not moved into the market, it may become obsolete, and the supply chain mismatch, and it leads to unwanted carrying costs. This happens because of unplanned production schedule. So if the production schedule is not properly made, so it may lead to unplanned production schedule and larger batch sizes than required. It may lead to overproduction and miscoordination between it normally happens in departments that, like, between the coordination between marketing department, production department, and the procurement or purchase department. If there is a miscoordination, it may lead to overproduction. So this is, if this overproduction is one of the causes of wastage, and where the lean principles can be applied here to deploy lean techniques. Transportation waste. This normally happens because of poor layout, lengthy material handling, large batch sizes, and overproduction. So this also leads to excessive consumption of fuel and space, and excessive wear and tear of the plant and machinery, jigs, dies, etc. And in this particular aspect, lean is very, very important for MSMEs, because MSMEs, they are small in size, their resources are limited, and they may not have big consultants who can come and study and say. So for particularly for MSMEs, the owners, most of the times, the owner plays almost all roles. He will be the supply chain in charge, he will be the marketing in charge, he will be the production in charge. In such cases, a close coordination is required, and these principles, one cannot say that this lean is a very high-end, high-end methodology, and where only big companies can implement. It is not so. It is, the terminology is such that the terminology may looks like it's high end, but then everywhere, if you have close monitoring of the manufacturing processes, the waste can be identified, and those waste can be categorized into these 7 kind of waste, whatever it is, like overproduction, excessive transportation, and excessive inventory. Why there will be inventory built up? Where there is a lack of balance in workflow, because one workstation to another workstation, if the coordination is missing, so inventory, the working process will pile up in the process. Then production bottlenecks, frequent breakdowns, and erroneous demand forecasts. These will lead to excessive inventory, and it may lead to use of excessive packing material and excessive carrying costs, excessive handling, thereby excessive product damages. Defects waste. So in any product, in any manufacturing process, defects are the main cause of concern. The more the defects, the more the rework. The more the rework, the more is the consumption of various resources. So it may lead to lower productivity. It may lead to waste of time and money. It may lead to more customer complaints and higher cost of production. Then over processing. So over processing is also a waste, because when you are supposed to process a particular product for 1 minute, if you are even processing for 1 minute, 1 second, is also excessive processing. This kind of excessive processing does not add any value to the product, and the customer is not going to pay for it. So this will happen when there is unclear about the processes, when there is a lack of clear-cut specifications, and there is a faulty machinery, and unskilled manpower may lead to this kind of over processing. So this will lead to more wear and tear of the machines, excessive usage of materials, and excessive use of energy, space, etc. Movement, excessive movement. This may happen because of wrong design of the layout, then poor workplace organization, wrong method, usage of wrong method, and again because of lack of coordination between the departments. So these are the reasons wherein the excessive movement happens. This also consumes a lot of time, money, and other resources, thereby leading to lower productivity and excessive cost of higher cost of production. Waiting. So the work waiting is one of the main ways in any manufacturing process. Waiting from one machine to another machine, or waiting from one worker to another worker while passing on the work to the next workstation. So this is also one of the main reasons for waste, and where the process can be made lean by reducing the waiting time between the processes. The next one is lean methodology. So in lean methodology, you have the 5S. In 5S, 5S is nothing. 5S is a Japanese concept, but you know, in India also we have recently introduced the Swachh Bharat. 5S is nothing but Swachh Bharat activity: sorting, setting in order, shining, standardizing, and making sustained. So what all this talk about? Yes, like if you in my experience also, I was seeing the stores in the manufacturing process or the shop floor. The materials are the spares and jigs and dies are kept here and there, not in any proper order. So in short, you first decide on what is required, what is the wanted items, what are the unwanted items. If it is scrap, please transfer it to the scrap yard. If it is useful item, keep it in a proper bin. If it is a repairable item, you get it repaired and keep it in a right place. It will help in maintaining the tools and tackles in good health condition and in working condition. And more than anything, it will be very easy to trace the item when it is required. Otherwise, most of our times in stores, people will be searching for the item or searching for the tools and tackles, in which the time is wasted. Thereby, the process will be delayed. The production time will be affected. So that is how set in order. Whatever is sorted, it has to be set it in order. In set it in order means there should be a place for everything, and everything should be in its place. Scrap should be there in the scrap yard. Various tools, like if you go to a medical shop, you ask for a medicine, immediately he will take it and bring. So that is a good example of 5S in medical. If you go to a proper medical store, they will have proper bins and then names written on A to Z, and then the moment you ask, they give it to us. So same thing has to happen in on any shop floor and any of the stores and working places. Thereby, the easy access will make availability of more time for productive activities. Thereby, it reduces the cycle time, minimize, and make the process lean. Shine, whatever items that are available, that are useful, it has to be made clean and to be kept in ready place. I have seen in some of the factories, when an item is required, they will go there and take the item. By the time it is rusted, and then you take some kerosene and take something and clean it and then go. By the time the time is wasted and the machine uptime will be affected. Standardized. Once these things are done, that is sort, set in order, and shine. Standardize the process means make a document, standard operating procedures, make operating manuals, work instructions, and then this will help in keeping everything intact, and it makes understand everybody. Tomorrow, if any person, suppose the stores in charge resigns and new person comes, it is easy for him to understand by going through the manuals and the operating procedures, so that from the next day onwards, he will be able to follow the processes that are placed in the system. Otherwise, what happens when another new person comes, again he will keep on going here and there for searching the items to find out the procedure, whatever it is. So, to avoid such delays, everything should be standardized. Be it a big company or a small company, even for MSMEs, it is a small note they can write somewhere. It can be made in a visually displayed place where people can read and understand very quickly, and so that they can follow the procedure from the day one. A single minute exchange of die. It is not really in a 1 minute exchanging of die. What it indicates that any changing of die or any such kind of activity, like if you go to soap manufacturing, or if you go to automobile spares manufacturing, or if you go to some accessories like bolts, nuts manufacturing, the dies are very, very important, and where particularly the uh, small batches have to be run very frequently, there it is very, very important. So here, what I mean to say is, the exchange of die, if the die change is delayed by an hour, which means you have lost the production for an hour. So what is to be done? It has to be identified what are the various activities that can be done external, that can be internal, and what activities can be done while the machine is running, and what activities have to be done by stopping the machine. If you can reduce the time of uh, uh, reduce the time lag to stop the machine for the die exchange, that will lead to a machine availability, increase the machine availability time, thereby it increases the productivity. In my experience, I have seen there will be dice while I was working in a soap manufacturing company. The dice will be kept here and there. So 100 gram soap, 50 gram soap, 75 gram soap, 150 gram soap, different soaps will have different dice. And those dice are kept here and there. And then once that, suppose that 150 grams run is over, they'll simply keep those dice elsewhere, and they immediately start 100 grams. But after that, they don't care about the 150 grams dye. So what is to be done immediately? That 150 grams dye has to be cleaned up properly, because it has run. It will have accumulation of various other particles in the dye hole, that has to be cleaned and made everything ready to be kept in the right place by using the fibers. Means they have to do all that set in a, it has to be kept in the right place by shining. Shining means removing all the overburden or whatever particles, and they keep somewhere and in the right place. Immediately when the changeover starts next time for 150 grams, within no time they can bring that die, and that die can be fixed, so that the uh, uh, that availability time can be achieved. Sustained means after doing all this, so it has to be sustained for a longer time. They have to focus on how to sustain these processes, whatever is kept in place. We'll go through some of the case studies wherein how lean has helped the organizations to achieve more productivity. In this case of a cement plant, they have a coal reclaiming system, and the coal reclaiming system, what it happens is, at the time of breakdown, that this is the stacker and reclaimer. Stacker is the one which stacks the material, and reclaimer is the one which keep on reclaiming it and keeping it in a proper place. So in this particular unit, what used to happen is, when the belt when the belt gets stripped, the belt, it used to, the downstream means the next downstream continuously runs for 30 minutes in a day. So they have identified that this unnecessary 30 minutes running if it can be reduced to some extent, they can save on power. So they have applied this lean methodology and they have modified the logic for line 1 and line 2 of the reclaimers, and they have grouped it together to avoid the idle running time. So after modification, what they did, once the last belt of the group, if it is not started within 5 minutes after the on command is given, the entire group should be tripped through interlocking protection, and all the idle running of the belt should be stopped. So by implementing this, they have reduced the power consumption 75 kWh per day, which means the 75 kWh, if you measure in rupees, maybe we can say even 4 rupees, even if you take, it is per kWh, even if it is 4 rupees, so it will save how much? It will save 300 rupees per day. Though it is small, but 300 rupees into 300 days, even if you take 90,000 to 1 lakh a year saving. So in lean, the beauty of it is every small waste, if you identify, like, drop and drops makes ocean. So like that, every saving is a saving, and it will finally lead to bigger savings. This is the case of reduction in transportation waste. The company is Empire Fasteners, Hyderabad, UP. So initially the material handling was done, you see here, manually, and then after the implementation of lean, they have implemented the trolley and designed better transportation for a better transportation of the material, and thereby they have reduced the time required for transportation. That is important, and they also reduced the wastage during transportation when it is done manually, and they have achieved better results. The another case here is these hot components. In this case, the hot components are kept together in one bin here, which results in deformation due to heat. Because you see, this is a rubber industries. When these components are kept in together in their hot condition, because of the elasticity of the items, the material becomes, they used to deform, means the circle one may become like oval, or this square one may become rectangle type. So because of that, they used to get lot of defects. So they have now implemented Kaizen, and then they arranged a separate rack, designed a separate rack, and they used to keep the parts separately from each other to give them a time to cool off. Because they have kept it separately and the cool off time is given, thereby they have reduced the rejection rate from 14,320 parts per million to 8,183. So which means almost 80% of the rejection rate they have reduced. This is the company in Haryana. And lean is not for the running manufacturing processes, but it is also for the new plants. If you see this greenfield PSU steel plant, what they did, this is the steel manufacturing process. While constructing the new plant, they have eliminated this entire process, the circled one. So that entire process is, and they have made lean by eliminating this process from directly to here, and they saved 30% of saving in reheating they have achieved. And they have not only that, to that extent, the working process got reduced, and working capital also released to that extent. So they have achieved lean in that way. This is fishbone analysis. This is another case where fishbone analysis means you have to ask 5 whys. Anything that is happening, you have to ask why. So in this case, what happened? The inner liner wrapper variance, when it is high, the questions was asked, is it a problem of machine, or is it a problem of men, or is it a problem of measure, or is it a problem of method or material? So when they studied, it has happened wrapping machine problem, then is it operator problem, is it measurements, is it a data problem, is it a wrapping material problem, or is it a wrapping method problem? So these questions were asked when they were brainstormed. So it finally led to understanding here, because of the ambiguity in SOP, the wrapping method problem has come. Because of material supplier, the wrapping material has become problem. So what is wrapping material? This is a wrapping material. When the soap is wrapped like this, it has to be wrapped to the full extent. But in the process, it was observed that it was extra wrapped. Thereby, they are getting lesser yield. They bought certain, suppose if the wrapping material bought for 1 lakh soaps, it used to be finished at 90,000 soaps. So when the problem was identified from here to here, when it is overlapped, then the problem was identified that the supplier was supplying wrong specification of material with higher GSM than required, and also because of SOP problem, standard operating procedure, the operator is wrapping extra 0.5 to 1 centimeters, thereby the excess consumption is happening, thereby the variance is happening. When this fishbone analysis was done, this problem was identified and the problem was rectified and then achieved lean there. This is another case of Mangala Engineering Unit in Indore. So this is before you see how the packing material cartons are spilled here and there, but after this, it is stored in a systematic manner, and the shop floor place is released now, and it has made them very easy to identify the material and quickly pack the product, and thereby reduce the delivery time. So this here initially tools were kept in disorganized manner and they have organized here. So it has helped in proper location of items within the short time. So this is another case where visual management is implemented. See, they have implemented the bins, so the material or will be kept here and the material will be kept here. Thereby, waste material are separately made it, and then they have saved time and place here. Because of these implementations, this particular cluster, the MSME cluster, Light Engineering Lean Manufacturing Cluster in Indore, MP, by implementing Lean, they have saved money. Their total cluster saving is 4 crores 4 lakhs 4,453. So this is the source I have taken from Lean coffee table book published by National Accreditation Board of Education and Training. They have when they did study and all this because of all this Lean methodology they implemented in this particular cluster, the savings has happened because of this Lean methodology implementation in this cluster. So to implement proper Lean methodology, the 4 pillars are measure it, monitor it, maintain it, then finally monetize it, make money. So that is why Lean is a boon, and because it minimizes the waste, it improves the productivity, it improves the quality, maximizes the profitability, and finally ensures sustainability, and finally brings competitive advantage. So this is all about Lean manufacturing. If any questions?
So thank you, sir, for your elaborate discussion on lean manufacturing. Please send your PPT for submitting in the institute. In our institute.
Already I have forwarded. I sent it to you in the email.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for making it very interesting with the help of case studies.
Now we are moving to our second technical session by CMA Kamallochan Nayak sir, who is the branch head of NSIC, and the topic he is going to cover is marketing support for MSME. Over to you, sir. CMA Kamallochan Nayak sir.
Good evening, all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
साउंड थोड़ा बढ़ा दीजिए प्लीज इंक्रीज योर साउंड
It is okay now? It is okay now?
नाउ यू कैन कैरी ऑन
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. As I was listening to Mr. Lakshman Rao also, the presentation is like how we in CMA fraternity can educate our people, like all CMAs, to be updated by ourselves and to serve the industry as well as to our society as a whole, and so that CMAs can play a very vital role. As I belong to NSIC and serving, we are coming under Ministry of MSME and serving to MSME throughout the India. I will go by the topic only, the MSME facilities. Now, perhaps all have known, it has been now 9 months past after the new policy of MSMED Act has been changed, and the policy is like that, the definition of MSME. Earlier, what was there on the basis of plant and machinery, investment of plant and machinery, the definition was being done. But after 1st July 2022, the definition has been changed and it has come to effect by a composite means, composite definition you can say. The definition is like that, investment in plant and machinery equipment as well as turnover. Just I am sharing a screen. Screen sharing is available. Where is? This is the new definition of MSME with effect from 1st July 2022. And it is very easy to remember that multiplication of 5. Whenever investment in plant and machinery equipment, it is 1 crore, and then the annual turnover is 5 times, 1 is to 5, then that unit will be counted as micro. And whenever the investment is 10 crore, up to 10 crore and 50, 10 into 5, it will be treated as small. And whenever it is again 50 and 250, then it will be treated as medium. Earlier, what is happening, if a service unit says infrastructure company, a construction company, whose plant and machinery was very less amount, and their turnover were about 1,000 crore, they were coming under medium enterprises, and they were not under the purview of large sector. But the boundary has been fixed as a composite. That's why means actual small and medium and micro small industries, they are being included. Suppose whenever a company is having a turnover of 1,000 crore, then how they can get the benefit of MSME? Because they are capable by their own to stand by themselves, stand up by their own. After taking all the consideration, and this system is being implemented in European country, USA, and India has implemented this by analyzing so many things. Now I will go to my presentation. NSIC is there from 4th February 1955 to serve the MSMEs. But due to less exposure, you can say, as we are a government sector, earlier no advertisements were there, and the thing is that it was very lesser people, lesser MSME industries could know about NSIC. Though we are there for last 6 to 7 decades, but still we are trying hard nowadays to reach to the people. And the NSIC is serving, it is only a PSU coming under Ministry of MSME, serving to the MSME, and so many schemes are there. So some of them are promotional nature and some of them are commercial nature. As we are coming under the Companies Act and we are a PSC, 100% owned Government of India PSC, what happens whenever a PSC is being defined and government has put some norms that you have to earn by yourself and you have to run by yourself. No government aid will be available for you. But still some promotional schemes we are running also, for which government some service charges, it is very measurable amount. That is, you can say 7% of the total service whatever we are providing, that we are earning. But we are earning by our own to be self-sufficient by ourselves. And last year also we have earned around 50 crore profit, and out of which in 2021 and 22 we paid dividend to the government around 33 point something 33.7 crore or 6 crore to the Government of India, Ministry of MSME. By our, what I am telling, these these 4-5 schemes are coming under commercial scheme. The main scheme is raw material, and that raw material perhaps we as a profession, CMA profession, we generally provides, we do some consultancy work for industries. Maybe that some SME units are included in our industrial consultancy. And what happens, some are in need of material, raw material, and I have told so many times that the raw material assistant is a very flagship scheme, you can say, which is for MSME industries, but very leisure, very few industries get the benefit, as it is it has yet to be reached to max MSME units, because it is very means, you can say, it is like an arrangement of raw material. We are having MOU with so many big industries who are there. Just a moment. Sorry to interrupt. We are having a tie-up with very big manufacturers, like that they may be private or government manufacturer. We are into tie-up with Coal India. We are having a tie-up with cement industries like SEC, like your Rambuja, like Dalmia. We are having tie-up with that your Steel Authority of India, RINL, maybe some private or as well as government companies. And we are what happens, what is the requirement of this tie-up? Because this tie-up when happens, that if a single unit MSME goes for the memorandum of understanding with a big company, because they may require a very lesser amount, lesser quantity. They suppose they need 30 metric ton per annum, but as a whole, if NSIC signs an MOU, and recently also from Nagpur also I have signed MOU with this local cell of the Steel Authority of India office. And whenever we sign MOU, because we are having a pan-India presence, having 80-90 offices, and all over India we sign the MOU for a bigger quantity. that quantity, suppose if a single unit requires 10 metric ton, 30 metric ton, or as a whole NSIC requires suppose 10,000 metric ton. What happens? What is the difference? Whenever a single unit signs the MOU, what happens? They will get the lower slab of discount, and whenever NSIC signs, and they will get the higher slab of discount, which will be directly passed on to the unit. And on the other hand, if the unit is having good rating also, likewise, whenever we go for a bank loan, at that time what happens? The bank ask us, "Bhai, what is have you gone for?" Because BLR rating also mandatory nowadays. And likewise, if they are having SME rating, a small and medium enterprise rating, it is there, and all these 7 agencies are doing also. If they are having SME 1 or SME 2, they will get a concession also in the rate of interest. And our rate of interest is very cheap, you can say, in comparison to the recently hiked rate of interest. We are spreading from 9% to 10.5%. And again, if the unit has signed MOU, whatever discount they are getting, we are passing on to the unit. And likewise, bill discounting also like that. And as it is a tripartite agreement, so many formalities are there. We are charging 1% lesser than the raw material interest, whatever we are taking for raw material assistance interest. Second one is just I am coming here. We are having tie up with these industries. You can have a look also. Iron, steel, MS and SS, pig iron, aluminium, coal, cement, paraffin wax, polymer, copper, zinc. These are the materials for which we are having a tie-up with the manufacturers. Again, this one is a very important scheme, and each and everybody, every MSME requires it, because after this memorandum of Udyam registration became mandatory nowadays, and it is being generated online. What happens? NSIC certificate has its importance, because whenever earlier what was happening, whenever a MSME applies to get registered, they were to approach the nearest DIC, District Industry Center, and they used to visit the place of the unit, the factory, workshop, office, and they were certifying that whether that unit is genuine, and then after they were certifying that yes, that unit is operating, and we can give the certificate. That was 6 months it was given as EM part 1, then after 6 months, whenever the production starts, then they were giving that permanent registration, you can say EM part 2, entrepreneur memorandum part 2. Whenever this Udyam Aadhaar came, then after the Udyam registration came, it became totally online. If the unit is having its registration like having the document like PAN, bank account, Aadhaar number, then they will easily get a registration of MSME. MSME means Udyam registration. Whenever you have done any registration for Udyam, then only you will be counted, you will be treated as MSME. What the facilities MSMEs are getting, if you are having the Udyam registration, then you are eligible for the benefits. But whenever tendering process, government tender come into picture, what happens at that time? Suppose you have so many, if you have some of us, if you are going for government tenders and applying or as a consultant for any MSME, you could have known that this EMD is required. After getting the L1, you will pay some security deposit also. And what happens? Some of them, means you can say 60% government companies are asking whether the unit is having NSIC registration. This is the registration, single point registration. Why it is single point registration? If you are having 2-3 factories also, only on balance sheet, one balance sheet, you will get a single certificate from NSIC. What happens for this certificate? We are inspecting your unit after having your Udyam registration. What happens? We generally appoint a third-party agency. Here in Nagpur, two agencies are there. SGS is an MNC, and RIGHTS. You people are perhaps know about RIGHTS. RIGHTS is the PSU, also coming under Ministry of Railway. They are doing their work is exclusively for inspecting the capacity of the unit. We are appointing the third party agency. They are inspecting you. Whatever they are certifying, we are putting that all these stores in the certificate, so that you will be eligible to get exemption, like exemption payment of EMD, 15% price preference, 25% procurement, minimum procurement from the government body if you are participating in a government tender, including 5% of 25% is reserved for SC/ST and 3% for women. And besides, 358 items also exclusively reserved for MSME. If you are having NSIC registration, these benefits will take you to get or qualify you to get the tender. Because if you don't have this NSIC certificate and you are getting L1, what happens in a later stage, that department, PSU, government or state government, whoever is there, they will ask to appoint a third party and provide a capacity verification certificate. If you are having NSIC certificate, then there is no necessity. And in GEM nowadays, GEM purchase, there is also NSI. If you are having NSIC certificate, you are also getting some benefits. And recently we are also having some tussle with GM, and we are taking up, our management is taking with GM officers and officials, that it will be reserved that if you are having NSIC certificate, then there will be no further assessment by GM. Again, if you belong to a general category, OBC, minorities, then you have to pay certain charges. As charges are very minimum, 3,000 rupees for if your turnover is up to 1 crore, and turnover goes up as per the proportionately as per the the fees goes up proportionately as per the turnover, and it is available in our website also. And if you are SC or ST unit, SC MSME, then you will get 100% subsidy for the registration. For this, I will go another presentation. I am keeping like this for some time. This is also ICT enable digital service facilitation. ICT means information and communication technology. Nowadays, it is playing a very vital role for any industry, because we are moving to the automation, towards the automation, and around whoever is there in the world, we are becoming the largest automation type industry, because we are using maximum technology, IT, so that our facilities, our easy of doing business becomes very smooth. That's why we are just recently this facility and service is being provided by NSIC, for which we are tying up with so many industries who are providing ERP for smaller, because ERP nowadays costing a very higher amount, and we are tying up with the small software companies and other service providers also, to tie up so that the MSME can get the service at a cheaper rate. And if you are an MSME, you will be in both end, either in receiving end or will be at payer end. Because if you are into a software preparation, software making company, at that time if you approach NSIC, what happens? Then these are the criteria. you should have minimum 5 crores of turnover and presence in 3 years. And we should have profit in last 3 years. You should have pan India presence, at least 4 cities and having 20 employees. Should not have blacklisted by any government or PSU, and that service charge NSIC will charge only 5% of MRP. Whatever is there. Next scheme is consortium and tender marketing. Whenever we participate in a government tender, what happens nowadays? There is no monopoly at all. We are competing with each other. Suppose what happens? It is a case where similar manufacturing, similar service providing units participate in government tenders. By making a consortia, then there is a chance of you can say avoid the competition. How they approach NSIC? At least 2 units approach NSIC that we are into this much of manufacturer and this is the tender, and if NSIC can participate on our behalf, then it will be very helpful. And what happens at their time? Their monopoly, there will be monopoly of NSIC, you can say, because there will be no competition in between the units. Suppose like-minded unit and same type of manufacturing or service providers, they can approach us and we will participate on behalf of them. And as NSIC is a PSU government company, and keeping the faith on NSIC, government department generally what happens, gives preference to NSIC to issue the order. Here in Nagpur also we are having a big tender of WCL pre-plot of supply we are doing through 7 like-minded units, MSMEs being registered with the NSIC. And what happens? NSIC charges a very lesser amount, and in between the like-minded unit, their competition is not there. Competition gone, and each and everybody they are being getting their share of business as per their turnover or whatever is decided in a consortia meeting. If it is a startup case or a present industry, this is the money is a vital requirement, or it plays a very big role for the starting of any unit or to expand their unit to the next level. What happens? That's why NSIC thought, why not we should tie up with the banks? And earlier there were 35 banks, and because so many banks are merged recently, and the NSIC has been into the picture by signing the MOU with these banks. Bank of Maharashtra, it is being expired recently and it is due for renewal, it is under process. And all these banks, you can say, we are going with private as well as public sector banks and providing the credit facilitation. It is you can say it is a helping hand facility to the MSME. What happens whenever any unit approach to a bank and submit the application with their DPR and all the profiles? Suppose it is a startup unit, then bank, what happens? Bank does not pay the attention to them, because they don't give weightage to their profile, because it is a new unit who will take the risk of providing the credit facility. At that time, what happens? If you are having a Udyam registration and you are a registered MSME, if you approach us NSIC, sir, this is the my DPR, my profile, my collateral item, I am ready to submit to bank. If the credit facility is submitted, then what happens? These banks, we ask the unit, you choose as per your wish. Whatever bank you wish, you choose them. We will approach to that bank because we are having a tie-up with them. On behalf of the unit, we will approach to bank, and approach means your application will be forwarded and will be rigorously followed up with the banks. Banks are bound to give the reply within the next 30 days, whether they are going to sanction the limit, credit limit, you can say fund based, non-fund based, means CC, OD, BG, LC, whatever the facilities the unit is approaching for, the bank has to reply. within a 30 days span period. If bank is rejecting it, then they will have to give the proper reason why they are rejecting the proposal. Then if in between, if the shortfalls are being fulfilled, then bank goes that yes, some by taking the consideration, bank may sanction, because if any unit applies for 5 crore, bank may sanction say 4 crore or 3 crores. Then in a next later period, whenever the unit is in running condition, looking to their profile, looking to their credibility, then bank increase the facilities. NSIC, for this is the totally promotional scheme. NSIC never charges single pie, single amount from the unit. This is again, it is another promotional scheme. And what happens, there are the units who are manufacturing their products or providing services. The main method to make the advertisement of their product or services is through exhibition, because exhibition is a place so many people visits. Suppose you can say that locally it is having a very good repo and weightage also, because local customers do pay a visit to this exhibition and can know about the unit, whoever are showcasing their product or services there. Likewise, if the unit belong to general or OBC category or minor, then they are getting 2 domestic and 1 international events with proper concession subsidy. You can say subsidy is varying from, if they are medium, 25% to 60% subsidy they are getting. And if the unit, again I am telling, if the unit belongs to SC/ST, then they are getting 100% subsidy and they are eligible for domestic exhibition and 2 international events without paying any cost. These are the SC/ST hub scheme. I am not telling you this. Recently, perhaps as we are into profession, and we may have known that venture capital fund, mother fund, daughter fund, recently our prime minister has inaugurated that the growth path of the MSMEs will be properly defined. That's why they have made a mother fund and daughter fund structure, show that purpose can be generated, and it is like hand holding support to a MSME who is quietly, eagerly in a developing stage, and they, even by hand holding them, they can be listed in the stock exchange also. This is the, and government has allotted around 10,000 crore to this mother and daughter fund, the self India Sri fund. You can say it is a self India India. This has been declared by our honorable prime minister, and for this NSIC is having a totally wholly owned subsidiary company. It has been recently incorporated for last 1.5 years. The name is NSIC Venture Capital Fund Limited. You can go through the website also, details are there, because I am, though as I am in field office and it is being dealt by our head office team, you can go by the website and you can get a deeper knowledge about this. These are the thing I have taken something. The scheme, how the scheme will operate. For each 4 units of fund so mobilized will be eligible to solicited 1 unit of fund from the mother fund on the back end basis. NSIC is having technology and training centers, because nowadays, though we are having knowledge, but suppose whenever we are purchasing a phone, what happens, we don't know what is the operation and how we can operate the phone mobile. Then what happens, we go to Google or somewhere or from where we have purchased, or some the some of the masters who are expert in using the mobile phone, then we can know that yes, this is the operating and this is the thing, we can operate the phone smoothly. Likewise, if we don't know the technology, then how we can operate by ourselves? Likewise, NSIC is having technical training centers and who are providing technical services, trainings to the MSMEs, to the prospective or aspirant MSMEs, so that they can be expert, and they by hand holding some support and by giving them proper training in a very concessional price, and they can be master of their whatever they want in future. Okay, these are the technical training centers we are having: NTSC Okhla, NTSC Howrah. NTSC stands for NSIC Training and Technical Center, Rajkot, NTSC Chennai, NTSC Hyderabad, Aligarh, Rajpura, Nimka, Devriya, Kasipur, Mandi, Nawada, Naini, and Raurkela. Naini and Raurkela, this is the LBI, that incubation centers, you can say. And they have been into operation for last 6 months or 1 year, you can say. Before I concluding, I will another scheme is there. As it is not sufficient that we are marketing our own products within the country, and whenever we are growing and our product is certified, quality is certified, then we may wish to export our product also. At that time, some schemes are there. What we do, that NSIC also is running a scheme that is for capacity building for the first time MSME exports. What happens? 3 types of schemes are there. First is registration cum membership certificate paid by the first time exporter for registration with the EPCs, Export Promotion Council, and insurance implemented by ECGC. Third one, fee paid for testing and quality certification acquired by MSA to export their product. It is being implemented. Third one is implemented by NSIC. These 2 are implemented. One is EPC Council, second one is ECGC, third one is NSIC. And what is the amount? The amount is 1 lakh, or I'm coming to these are the policies. The financial assistance is allowed 75% of the testing or quality certification with a ceiling of 1 lakh, or actual, whichever is lower. Subject to a condition should be like this: financial assistance is allowed for a maximum of 3 certification in a financial year. These are the procedure how to get. All these are available in online also. I will, before concluding, I will go to the next presentation, that is MSME Mart, what I had left there in between. This is MSME Global Mart. Perhaps we all heard about India Mart, Alibaba, like this. They are the big player. You can say they charges also bigger amount, and this NSIC, you can say it is a ministry's portal, and NSIC is running it. It is named as msmemart.com. If you go by msmemart.com from the website, you can get it. It is one-stop, one-window bucket of ads that provides information on business, technology, finance. It is totally a B2B portal, you can say. And you can extract the details throughout world. Why to join? See, at present they are having around 150, 1.5 lakhs members, and that NSIC as a public sector is having a credibility and market access. You can say it is a small or mini website, you can say. Key benefits increase discoverability, display your product 24/7, connect with the buyer and supplier, keyword based unlimited national trade alerts, franchise distribution opportunities, request for quotation, information on events and exhibitions, business leads. All these things are available in this website. It is a very vast website. You can have a trial, and I'm going one by one. These are the benefits for the what will be the benefits for buyers and what will be the benefits for suppliers, as it is a B2B portal. And another thing is that it is very easy to join. I can say if you are into a micro, at present you are having a micro general category unit, you have to pay only 1500 plus GST, and your your ID as well as your membership will be valid for 1 year. Wherever India Mart is charging around 25,000. And what happens by going by you can go by online by paying through credit card or debit card, or if you approach in the local office, if you are in Bilaspur, you can approach to our Raipur office or Indore office, or if you are in Maharashtra, you can approach Nagpur office. We are having other offices also. Then what happens at that time, you can pay to us also. What happens, we provide an ID as well as password, so then you can get the permission of accessibility and you can go by your own, whatever. The sky is the limit. If you go to this website, if there is sky is the limit. So vast these opportunities are, so vast website it is. You can watch from there. And for a general category, small or medium enterprises, it is 6,000 plus GST. Again, if you are into SCST, then you have to pay only 1,200 plus GST. And if you want to know whether whatever I am telling it is true or false, you can have a trial by creating by own ID and password for a trial period of 30 days. These are the toll-free number and email. You can contact us. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you. Sir, please send your PPT, sir, for submitting in the institute.
Okay, I will share.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your elaborate explanation. Now we are moving for our third technical session by Mr. Sridhar Pandurangayya. He is the Chief Technology Officer in Sastra Technologies, and the topic he is going to cover is a very important one: factoring MSME receivables by using blockchain. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. To all dignitaries and the co-speakers and all participants, a very warm good evening. Before I start, let me share my presentation. Yeah. So what I'm going to cover today is the importance of factoring and actually in working capital finance for a small and medium scale enterprise. Now, I'm also going to cover how having so many MSMEs, we can actually securitize those receivables and then take it to the capital market to improve the cash flow amongst the financial institutions and the banking sector. So the financial institutions and the MSMEs. Now, before I actually go into that, and at the end of the session, I have the demo of a blockchain platform, the Ethereum platform, wherein I will create and demonstrate how invoices can be securitized and then listed on an exchange. So before we get to the demo, I would like to first cover the various working capital scenarios and various ways in which working capital can be financed. So on to my first slide. The first thing I'm sure all of you are aware is the overdraft account, which you can operate in a bank. So it's an operative account with a bank. So it's basically an account just like a current account, wherein limit is sanctioned for the overdraft. And as a borrower, you can actually either remit money into it so that you could reduce the debit balance. But you can still go ahead and withdraw funds to the extent that the sanction is made by the bank. And you could also secure this overdraft account by hypothecation of machinery or by hypothecation of real estate. So this is one method of financing. The second method, which is also equally popular, is a cash credit account, which is essentially a drawing account only. So you have a limit set by the bank again, and you can actually draw advances from the cash credit account. And you can also secure the withdrawals by hypothecation of either goods or goods in inventory or produce in case you're a farmer. So obviously both these have a charge on the overdraft or the amount that you withdraw. The third is actually check discounting, wherein checks that you receive with a post date, we could take it to the bank and ask them to discount, and the amount is credited in the bank and into your account, minus the discounting and the commission, and the MSME gets the funds to carry on with the business. So these are the three most popular methods of working capital finance today. The fourth one, which I feel is very underrated today and not popular, I'll tell you why they are not popular, is bill discounting or factoring. Okay, here what happens is, especially for MSMEs, considering that most MSMEs operate within the India geography, they raise invoices or bills, okay, and sometimes it takes a lot of time for them to see the receipts. But thanks to certain MSME laws that have been passed on by the government, today it's the maximum 45 days by which GST has to pay it and the money has to be remitted back into the MSME's account. So when you have a scenario like this, I feel that one of the options that banks should consider is to discount the bills, especially when these days you have e-way bills. You could also have e-invoices. Then there is no reason why banks cannot actually increase factoring as one of their working capital finance managements. Okay, so let's say you have a bill, either documentary bill, be it LC in case you're exporting, or a domestic bill. You just take the bill to the bank. You should be able to easily discount it on site at the moment you present it. And of course, what is actually remitted to your account would be just the value of the bill minus the interest and the handling charges that includes the postage. So these four methods, the first three are very popular. The fourth one is unfortunately the least popular, in spite of being some of the easiest things to do, is to actually have an invoice that can be discounted. And there, as a country which provides so much IT solutions, I think it's pretty straightforward to have a system for factoring. So if one of the things that can be done is to actually securitize these receivables, which I'll come to it in subsequent slides. But first, let's see what happens in this entire factoring mechanism. So just to set the stage before we go into what should happen, what is currently happening, in spite of it being less popular, is that an SME raises an invoice on a big corporate where they've supplied some material and or service, and the big corporate acknowledges the invoice, and the SME can just take it to the bank and say present the invoice for discounting. So I mean the bank, after deducting its documentary charges and commission, it can just credit the SME's account, present with them with the funds, and then when the bill is or the invoice is due, can present the bill to the corporate for I mean to get the full amount. So considering that we have a 45 days period, and rather than the SME waiting for 45 days to get some money, if he is acceptable with the discounting rate, then you can get it in a few days. So the working capital and the cash flow for the SME improves a lot. Now, why is this actually, why hasn't this means of funding, even though it's just about 5 steps, why hasn't it actually taken off? One of the reasons that I feel is that there is no secondary market for securitized paper which are based on invoices of SMEs as a collateral. So what I mean by securitized paper is, as you can derive if you create a pool of all invoices of the same maturity and put it into a basket, you can derive a securitized paper which can actually be then sold on exchanges to retail investor. And the retail investor can have a facility for discovering what price he wants to pay for that security, and that will improve the depth of the markets. So that specific portion of actually securitizing the receivables and then deploying it on an exchange for retail investors to buy is missing. So because of which, most of the invoices and the trading between these invoices is only between bank to bank or bank to another financial institutions. So now, what is the way out? Yeah, there is a problem. I mean, we don't have a market for derivative instruments based on bills of MSMEs. So what do we do? So what we propose is, which we have been proposing to several financial institutions, is securitize the receivables and deploy it on a blockchain platform so that there is some amount of ownership, and there's no it's a mechanism to ensure that whoever buys that token is buying something of value instead of just an electronic record. So I'll come to that in a couple of seconds. So what we actually mean by that is, first, take all the, let's say we have a bank like State Bank of India, and they actually cater to MSMEs all across the length and breadth of the country. And if they were to consider our idea and say, look, we would like to go with this, what should they be doing? So the first thing is to take all the invoices that they are actually factoring and create a lot of the same maturity. So if an invoice is payable in 45 days, take 1 million invoices which are paid in 45 days, or take a bunch of invoices over different maturity periods till about 1 year, all payable in several months, and then create a lot. So once you create the lot, you will have a reasonable amount of corpus, which essentially means you can have you can draw a derivative instrument of, let's say, 100 crores or 200 crores, which you can then take it to the market. So once you created the lot, legally, since the receivable is assigned to SBI, they can't probably sell it to give it to the people who buy these derivatives. So legally, they have to do some jugglery by actually creating intermediaries to ensure that the money that SBI receives can be passed on to the people who buy the derivative instruments. So they first create a special purpose vehicle, which is essentially a trust. So you create a special purpose vehicle which usually has people from the bank and also other independent directors or trustees who will ensure that there is all fairness in that whatever receivables that are coming into the this lot of 100 crores or so reaches the person as a dividend or a payout at end of the period to the retail investor. Once they create the special purpose vehicles, essentially a trust, they have to create what is called the pass-through certificates, wherein it's again a legal document which they assign all receivables that are coming into the bank. They assign it to the SPV. So once these two legal entities are established, then they can create what is called as a marketable tokens, which is what we are proposing. So you create smaller face values, like each marketable token is 1 rupee with an interest of, with a coupon rate, and then you can list it on a blockchain platform. So how does that look pictorially? This is how it looks pictorially. Now, what we do here is, if you see the first 5 steps is essentially the same, which means the SME still raises an invoice. There is no change in that. The company actually acknowledges the invoice, and then the SME presents the invoice to the bank, and the bank actually credits the money to the SME's account. And rather than it, of course, presents the bill for collection on the due date, but in between, what it also does is it creates a special purpose vehicle, which is this, and then creates the pass-through certificate, which is the 0.6 and the 0.7. Now, once you have done this, you can list the entire lot of 100 crores or whatsoever is the amount of bills that they have. But they create the tokens and list it on a blockchain environment, which is a exchange where retail investors or corporate investors or funds or whatever can purchase it directly from the exchange depending on their investment risk. And as and when the invoices get paid, it goes and reaches the people who have bought those tokens. Now, to do this, we need what is not there is the missing portion is this blockchain environment. Now, blockchain environment again is a challenging environment because when we get into a blockchain environment, there's something called as there are different stake methods. That is, how do I establish that this person is an owner? Is one of the first questions that anybody would ask. So, and blockchain answers that in several different ways. So, if you see the Bitcoin, which is the most controversial and the most popular, the method of establishing ownership is by proof of work, which means that people have to do work to actually get something of value from that platform. On the other hand, if you look at Ethereum, which is a more popular platform, the proof of ownership is by something called proof of stake. You just go in and buy and you become an owner. So our proposal is that we list these tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. So what happens when we list it on the Ethereum blockchain? People just walk in, log in, and then buy how many ever tokens they want, and it actually comes into their digital wallet. Now, you must have heard a lot of arguments for and against blockchain. Some people will tell you it's a currency. Some people will tell you not a currency. So what is it exactly? So let me clarify that. Yeah, actually, if it is not backed by collateral, then any record on the blockchain is as good as air. There is no substance in it. And actually buying it or trading in it is actually risky, because if anything happens, there is no collateral that can pay you back. However, in this case, what we are proposing is, since this entire tokens that we're going to create on this blockchain is backed by invoices from the SMEs, you have a collateral, and the investors are assured that the collateral will actually pay the promised coupon rate that is being offered by the banks or by the financial institutions who are actually listing those coins during the initial coin offer. So this is my presentation. What I've got now for you is I have a small demo of how the entire thing happens. You will see how easy it is to actually create this. So just give me a minute. I will unshare this presentation and then switch to my command line so you can actually take a look. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Please send your presentation for submitting to the institute.
I'll do that. I'm just sharing another this one. 1 second. Give me a second. So I'm just sharing my screen now. Oh, okay, 1 second. Yeah. So can you see my screen? I'm just going to create all the, I've actually, before I came for this presentation, I pulled in some invoices and I've created a basket of, I've created a SPV and I've created this one, a pass-through certificate. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the tokens and then list it on the blockchain platform. So you can see how easy it is to actually do it. So you can, is it big enough or are you able to see what I'm doing? I'm going to make it a bit more so you can see what I'm doing. So basically I'm just checking my version. So I'm there, I'm good. So you don't have to worry about this. It's just that I'm just checking if my blockchain is good enough. So my program says it's good. Okay, so it is not locating this one. Okay, so that's fine. So now what I'll do is I will do a so I've generated all my tokens. So let me go and check my this one. So there you go. These are the tokens. What I've done is I've taken all, this is what is an example of a blockchain platform. So basically what is happening here is I've taken all the invoices, bunched it together. I had a pool of about 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 800, 900, about 1,000 and odd invoices, and then a value of 1,000, and then split it into 10 and created 10 tokens. And all tokens are secured by a very secure account number. So if you see the blocks, it was generated on 27th March at this place. So it's as easy as that to run a blockchain exchange. So if you have any questions, I can answer. I've already circulated my slides. So if an exchange like this is there, the cash flows and the mechanism to actually improve the working capital dramatically increases. So if you have any questions, I can answer them now.
There is no question, sir.
Okay. So that's my presentation for the day. And yeah, it is a small presentation, but we thought that this will, actually give you an idea of what's coming in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I've shared my presentation already, so I can send it once again if you like so. I think, is anybody around, or should I wait for questions, or?
Sir, there is no question in the chat box we have found.
Okay. Okay. Should I log off then?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day.
Yes. Thanks
Thank-
a lot, sir.
Thank you, madam. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now I request CMA Manoj Kumar Yediapalli, sir, Secretary of Bilaspur chapter, to give vote of thanks. आलोकेश सर, मनोज कुमार सर नहीं है क्या?
सर आवाज आ रही?
You are
Okay,
audible.
okay, okay.
A very good evening to all. On behalf of the Bilaspur chapter Cost Accountants of India, I am glad to be standing here to express my vote of thanks. A special thanks to our chief guest, CMA P. Bhattat sir, past chairman of ICA, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us today. Sir, your suggestions to the institute regarding MSMEs are commendable. I express my gratitude to CMA Chitranjan Chattopadhyay, Chairman, MSME and Startup Promotion Board of ICA, for collaborating with the Bilaspur chapter to organize these 4 days webinar on MSME. Sir, initially, the Bilaspur chapter has planned to conduct this webinar for Bilaspur members only, but with the collaboration of MSME and Startup Board, Promotion Board, we are now presenting this webinar to all the CMAs and other stakeholders in India. I express my gratitude to CMA Alokesh Datta sir, Chairman of Bilaspur Chapter ICA, for organizing these 4 days webinar on growth and sustainability of MSME sector in collaboration with MSME and Startup Promotion Board of ICA. I express my sincere thanks to CMA Joshna Rajpal ma'am, who have helped us a lot in selection of eminent speakers on topics. I express my gratitude to Dr. Jones, Secretary to the MSME and Startup Board, sir, for your valuable support. I thank to our speakers of today's technical session, CMA Lakshman Rao sir, practicing cost accountant from Vizag, CMA Kamal Lochan Naik sir, branch head of MSIC, and Mr. Sridhar Pandurangaya, sir, Chief Technology Officer of Sastra Technologies, for delivering their lectures and educating us. I thank to CMA Renu Kulakarni ma'am for anchoring this program since beginning. I thank to all the staff of ICA for their support in organizing this webinar smoothly. At last, I thank to all the members and other participants of today's webinar for joining with us and patiently listening technical sessions. I hope today's sessions have enlightened all. I request all the members of ICA to extend your support to MSME sector as far as possible for their growth. Thank you all. Thank you once again. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai ICA.
Thank you so much, Manoj sir. Now I request the IT department of the institute to kindly play the national anthem. Then the program will be over. Thanks a lot.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे